Howdy, folks. It's probably some of you thinking, did he ever just go away, or what happened to him? Did he die or something like that? Nope, I'm still here. Just haven't had time to do one of these. So, we'll go ahead and roll the intro, and so be it. Okay, well, I apologize because this one's going to be a long one. I'm kind of stealing from Zara Nizarak. I got a music stand here. Just kind of show off some things. I got some TV shows, got some friggin' movies and Blu-rays, DVDs, and just a whole bunch of mixed media, which we got here. Now, first off, we're going to this was a show that aired this past spring. It was very mixed with people on how it was done, but it's from Roma Downey and Mark Burnett. It's A.D. The Bible Continues. And this is a follow-up to their very famous The Bible miniseries that they did for the History Channel. And so they wanted to expose it to more people by putting it on NBC. But yeah, this is the follow-up, AD, which they recast all the characters, and this is basically the Book of Acts that they told. Released by 20th Century Fox and MGM, because Mark Burnett is now the president and CEO of United Artists. So United Artists actually distributed the show. And it's, I believe it's on 4 discs. Yeah, there's 4 Blu-rays in there. I can't remember the price of this. I know it's pretty. Probably the cheapest place you're going to find this is at Walmart. The reason being, if you go to like a Christian bookstore, they're going to charge you about $80 for this, and that's a little ridiculous. But yeah, there's 80. The Bible Continues. Speaking of religious themed material, I guess you might want to call it. I don't like that term, religious themed, but next up is a movie that I went to the theater and seen when it originally played. It came out shortly after The Lion King, and unfortunately was not a hit at the time. But still a lot of people liked it, but it spawned some direct to TV and DVD movies, and that's Angels in the Outfield with Danny Glover, Christopher Lloyd, and Tony Danza. And because of this movie, that's why Disney now owns the Anaheim Angels. So yeah, and there's also a lot of people that were in this movie. They were unknown at the time. Like Matthew McConaughey's in here playing a baseball player. Neil McDonough is in here playing some crazy baseball player. Of course, also the film stars a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He was only 12 at the time. But yeah, it was a good movie. Did see this in the theater when it actually played in 1994. An uncle took me to see it, so along with my cousins. So yeah, Angels in the Outfield. Next up, just a classic movie. I've been kind of wanting to check it out, and it's part of United Artists, one of the most famous movies. Won the Academy Award for in 1960 for Best Picture, and it's Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Fred MacMurray in The Apartment. Yeah, and I think they're looking to remake this, and I don't know about that. Um, but yeah, there's classic romantic comedy that won the Best Picture in 1960. And next up, we got Marvel's The Avengers: Age of Ultron, and of course, not as pricey as what the other Avengers movie. The other Avengers movie is just now coming down in price, down to $20. While this one, right out the door was like 25. But of course, this one wasn't as popular as the first one was. But I still enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good summer flick. A lot of people enjoyed it. It just didn't make the money that the first one made. But I kind of take into effect why the first one made so money was because it had the same problem that Avatar has, is that it played in multiple formats. And obviously there's different prices for those different formats. You have the 2D showing, which is going to be the regular theater price. Then you have the 3D, which there's like a $3 surcharge on top of that. Then you have IMAX, and then there's a charge for that. And so they accumulate all that gross for one title. And that's why the first one did so well. And this one they did the same thing with, but I enjoyed this movie. It's it's like any other sequel. It's not going to be as good as what the original was. It's very rare that you get a sequel that's huge, that's going to top the original. But yeah, the Avengers, I don't think you can go wrong with that. I'm just going to set that in front of that. Or, yeah, do what Zarin Isaac does, is put it up on top. I don't remember if I showed this one, and quite frankly, I'm a little ticked with Lionsgate, because they'll start off a TV show, a really popular TV show. They will put it on both DVD and Blu-ray formats. But if the television show loses its popularity, well, it gets reduced down just to DVD. And that is with Duck Dynasty Season 8. And understandably so, but it's like, the collector in me wants all of them on Blu-ray, but then again, I have 1 through 3 on DVD. I was never able to replace that. But they're putting them out just exclusively on DVD. And, I think the show's starting to run its course. And this is, I think, is a sign, but, it's still, I would like to see them all on Blu-ray, Next up, a movie I watched and I really enjoyed, because it kind of reminded me a little bit with Steven Spielberg's AI movie. But imagine if you did AI, but it's a lot more darker, more adult oriented. I don't want to say it's really disturbing, but there's some very questionable things that go on in this movie. And it's, what am I talking about? Ex Monica, starring Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac. It definitely raises some moral questions, and it does not, to me, it does not have a happy ending to this. It has kind of a bleak ending to it. Because then you find out what the real villain is. Yeah, Ex Monica. And the last video update I did with the Blu-ray and DVD update, I said I was going to get it when it finally came out. And that was The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies, the extended edition. And this is the one that is rated R. For some reason that with the extended footage, the extended content, it was able to push the rating into an R rating. And it says rated R for some violence. So I don't think it's one of those rated R that I don't think really deserves it. Okay. I'm going to clear this off here real quickly. I'm trying to keep these in order because I have to put them on the shelf. It's in the order in the shelf I put them on. Okay. Next up, we got a TV show. And this was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. I was able to, within the past couple months, put this TV show together, and it's so hard to put together a TV show on DVD unless you are doing it as the show comes out. But I'm talking like a show that's already been established, already been out, and the DVDs have already been out for a while. It's kind of hard to do. FYE has been generous to provide all of them except one, which they did have, but they sold out of it before I was able to purchase it. What am I talking about? The complete set to Home Improvement. Yeah, there's the complete show of Home Improvement. There's season 1. Here's season 2. Season 3. Season 4, this is the one I had to order from Amazon to get. And there's season 4. There's season 5. Season 6. And that one just came in a standard slipcover. Actually, the rest of them just came in standard slipcovers. The rest of them are actually in a box set. And here's the 7th season. And last but not least, the 8th season. So there you go. The entire series of Home Improvement on DVD. Now this is one of those shows that will never see the light of day on Blu-ray. Why? Because it was shot on videotape at 480p resolution. DVD is 480p resolution. So this is the best that this show is going to look. Even like say if you watch it on like TBS in HD, you're really not watching it in HD. It's just going to pillar box the sides of your television. But DVD is the best quality that show is going to look, because that's the format that it was shot in and so on. Yeah, this one with like MASH was kind of a challenge to put together because it's still kind of pricey because of its popularity. You're looking at not $12, around $20 for each season set. Because again, it's still a popular show amongst the viewing public. It still gets played in syndication and cable. So, moving on, we got the 50th anniversary edition to the Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I thought I upgraded this last year, but I didn't. I thought I did for some reason. And this, all it is just a slipcover, and it has the green case. So yeah, and the bonus features didn't change or anything like that. Next up, I got this one through the mail. That was the only way that you can get it, and it's, you figured someplace like FYE would carry this because it is a Warner Brothers catalog title, and it's the Steven Spielberg Joe Dante movie Inner Space, starring Dennis Quaid and Martin Short and Meg Ryan. Yeah. It was part of the Spielberg Joe Dante collaboration, and this one kind of is kind of forgotten about. Basically, the story is that Dennis Quaid's this kind of cocky pilot, and they really don't like him. This science lab doesn't really like him, but they send him on an experiment to be transferred into the body of I believe it's an animal, like a bunny rabbit or something like that, and he's to go through it and explore and do all this. Well, instead, a mishap happens, and he ends up in the body of Martin Short. And so he ends up touring through Martin Short's body, going through his bloodstream and so forth. And it's kind of it's Fantastic Voyage as a comedy. Okay. Next one is actually another TV show I was able to put together, and this one is on Blu-ray. This is an FX series. Was kind of turned on to this through the internet. Just watched some clips, and I just thought it was great. And it's Timothy Olyphant in Justified. Here's season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, and last but not least, season 6. The Emmy Award-winning FX series Justified, starring Timothy Olyphant, and just some great action drama with, it's kind of raw. I like the premise that that Timothy Olyphant, his character, he's a bit of a jerk, in Raylan Givens. But he kind of reminds me of, if you took somebody like a Clint Eastwood type character, particularly Outlaw Josie Wales, and you stuck him in modern day crime. That's kind of what Raylan Givens would be like. He's not a pleasant guy. There's one guy he beats up. He goes, "Why can't we just be friends?" He goes, "It'd be weird if you liked me." Yeah, good show. I don't watch it in particular order. That's the thing, though. I just put in some random episode. I probably should watch it straight through, because there is a storyline that is continued throughout the show. Okay. Next up, got Jurassic World. I, of course, got the standard edition because I felt that the one that came with the round disc container with the stand, I don't like how it's kind of flimsy. I didn't like how it appeared. Speaking of Steven Spielberg and dinosaurs, we have the Blu-ray edition to The Land Before Time, completely remastered. Of course, it's only as good as what it's going to be, because none of Don Bluth's movies go through a good. I don't want to say it. They don't go through what Disney does. Like Disney, when they put one of their classic animated movies onto Blu-ray, they will give you a completely they actually reanimate the movie. They don't actually draw the movie, but they'll pull out the animation cells and they'll completely rephotograph them using high-def cameras instead of film cameras. And now the next one, I eventually will be trading this one off because I found out that the Blu-ray edition did come out to this. And I don't know what the problem was, but again, Lionsgate. I don't know why they didn't release it simultaneously. And it's Little House on the Prairie, Season 7, completely remastered. The DVD came out first, and the Blu-ray is just now getting released. So eventually I will be trading that one off. Next up, I got Mom's Night Out with Sarah Drew, Sean Astin, Patricia Heaton, and Trace Adkins. Great family movie, faith-based. Next one is Phone Booth with Colin Farrell and Kiefer Sutherland, Forrest Whitaker. Came out about the same time as another movie called Cellular. And actually, they're both written by the same screenwriters, Larry Cohen. So, yeah, I remember watching this one in college. It's a halfway decent movie, especially by Joel Schumacher. Next up, I've never watched this movie yet. I was planning to go see it in the theater, but I didn't. But I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was decent for the type of story that it was telling. And it's The Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials. And it even says that they're planning to make... well, there's a little insert that says they're planning to make the third one, so... yeah, kind of looking forward to that one. And I finally upgraded my copy of A Christmas Story. Even though the contents are the same as the nice 2-disc edition I have, I can't say that the transfer is that great. I can already tell you no. That this is probably a VC1 transfer. Matter of fact, even the sound mix is the same as the DVD, which is 5.1 DTS. No, I'm sorry. It's English Dolby Digital 1.0, which means it's in mono. Because I don't think the original movie was released in stereo to begin with. So yeah. Now, moving on to... let me clear this off here. Clear this off here so we can make room for more. Next up, like I said, I've said this before, I'm not a big horror guy. I never will be. This, I bought, last update I showed you the first movie. Well, they came out eventually with the sequels, and it's the Poltergeist double feature. Now this one is released by MGM 20th Century Fox, while the other one was released by Warner Brothers because Ted Turner owns the first movie. This is parts 2 and 3 in a double feature, and part 2 is a good follow-up. It picks up shortly after the first movie, and matter of fact, there's a brief flashback to the first movie. And then part 3 it has some jump scares. It's fairly creepy, but it's not on par with what the first one is. The second one I didn't find, I've kind of found myself laughing at quite a bit. Some of the effects that was done, because the effects that was done in the first movie was actually surprisingly good. The second one, not so much. There is some good effects in it, but it's not on par with what the first one did. And the sad thing is, it's the same people. However, ILM worked on the first one. The second one was under the supervision of Richard Edlund. Richard Edlund after the first movie, he went on to make Return of the Jedi, and then he left Industrial Light and Magic and formed his own company. And the first film that they released was Ghostbusters. And they were under contract to both Columbia Pictures and MGM. And, well, the sequel to Poltergeist got fit right into that contract negotiation. So yeah, he took over for the second one, and then somebody else, actually the director of the third one, did the visual effects. Because there's not that much visual effects in the third movie. There's a lot of makeup effects and special effects, but there's not a lot of blue screen stuff like there is in the second one. Now moving on, we have the biopic Ragamuffin, which is the true story of Rich Mullins. I have yet to watch this. And of course, Rich Mullins, those of you who don't know who Rich Mullins was, he was a very, very popular Christian music singer in the 80s and then early 90s. He was killed in a plane crash in 1993. It was in the early 90s that he was killed in a plane crash, and he did have a troubled life, but it's a story about his life and who he was. Next up, some Gouda cheese, San Andreas, featuring Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, just a fun movie. Kind of reminds you of like a Day After Tomorrow type movie. Yeah, just good fun. And I should point out that some of these I got at Walmart on Black Friday. I got Ex Monica, and I got this one, Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. Never seen this. This is with Chris Pine taking over Jack Ryan in the famous Tom Clancy series. This one's directed by Kenneth Branagh. Also stars Kevin Costner, Keira Knightley. So yeah, wanted to check that one out. Again, this one's Walmart Black Friday. Silver Linings Playbook. Actually, no, this was not Black Friday. Just looking at the sticker. My bad. This one was FYE. But yeah, Silver Linings Playbook with Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro. This one was also FYE, and since Warner Brothers has Paramount's catalog titles, I think this one needs a Blu-ray release, and this is one I used to watch. I didn't used to watch this one as a kid, but I watched it as a teen. I thought it was really good. And that's Small Soldiers with Tommy Lee Jones and the Major Chip Hazard and Frank Langella as Archer. Who else was in this? Jay Moore, Kristen Dunst, Phil Hartman. As a matter of fact, it was Phil Hartman's last project. Dennis Leary. Yeah, directed by Joe Dante. Good stuff. And next up, I got the miniseries Sons of Liberty that aired on the History Channel. Who this star? It had Ben Barnes, Martin Costas, Henry Thomas from E.T. Yeah, just the miniseries about our founding fathers in the streets of Boston. Yeah, Samuel Adams. Yeah, Sammy Adams, John Adams, and all those key players of why we are now independent. Next up, I have Tomorrowland, Brad Bird's follow-up to Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Yeah, I have yet to watch this one as well. I've heard very, very mixed things about this, mainly because of George Clooney. A lot of people felt that George Clooney shouldn't have been in this. That it should have been to somebody else. And who else? Hugh Laurie, Tim McGraw is also in this. It's just, yeah, Tomorrowland. Now this one was a Walmart Black Friday title. Warrior with Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton, and Nick Nolte. As well as this one, We're the Millers. Who was in this? Jennifer Aniston, Jason Sudeikis, and Nick Offerman's also in this. Yeah, it's just crazy comedies. And we're down to the last two, I promise. We got Wyatt Earp, which I bought used at a Dave's Video. And, yeah, the big, long, epic Western. Kevin Costner, Gene Hackman, Dennis Quaid. And, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't... No, he wasn't. I was thinking of something else. But yeah, directed by Lawrence Kasdan, who just wrote Star Wars again. So, yeah, there we go. Whoops. And last but not least, again on Black Friday, Walmart, Brad Pitt in World War Z. I heard a lot of good things out of this. I've also heard some mixed things. But yeah, you know, good action flick. And I can't even put on the music stand. Actually, I think there's one more thing. Hold on one second. I don't recall if I showed this off in another video. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have. Disney finally releases Aladdin. Yes, for the first time on Blu-ray, Disney finally releases Aladdin. Now, I think the reason why Disney waited so long was because of Robin Williams. And even when Robin Williams was alive, there was some friction that Disney had with Aladdin and Robin Williams, because when apparently Robin Williams agreed to record the voice of the genie for Aladdin, he said, "I will do it at base actor's pay." Now, there were some stipulations to do that. And, of course, when they hired Robin Williams, he was like on board, full on. He was really gung-ho about making Aladdin. And he was willing to do it at all costs. But in contract that he and his agents agreed to was that as long as you don't make the character the centerpiece of the movie, that he would accept the base actor's pay. Well, when the movie starts coming together, it enters post-production, then all of a sudden the advertising starts coming out. And by advertising, I'm meaning like posters, banners, lobby cards, stuff that the theaters would start promoting the movie. Well, the theatrical poster to Aladdin. Matter of fact, I will flash it up here. What's the biggest character that you see on the poster? The genie. And that's why there's some friction, because Robin Williams ended up suing Disney for the rest of his pay, because they went against what he demanded. And that was, in order for him to have base rate pay, they couldn't make his character the centerpiece of attention. That also includes the advertising of the movie. He is not to be associated with, he's not to be the centerpiece of the advertisement. But still, Disney did it anyway. And of course, I think they waited a little bit past his death. And of course, there were some people mourning his death. And they do have a nice little tribute on the Blu-ray of him. And they play some outtakes that was not before featured in the special edition DVD, which I still currently own, because there are still some. There's one particular feature that's on the DVD that's not ported over to this. There's the majority of those features are ported over to this, but there's still one big documentary with Leonard Maltin that they did not port over. So, yeah, Aladdin finally now on Blu-ray. That's a lot. Unfortunately, I have been able to get all these up to you guys because I've just been so doggone busy with work and things, and just, come home, don't want to do anything. So, yeah, there's the DVDs and Blu-rays I have since acquired over the past, let's see, 3 months. I don't know what I'm getting for Christmas, so I should be getting some things, but I may be doing another video of some of the other stuff I've acquired, because I haven't just acquired Blu-rays. I've also got a PS4, so yeah, I've been starting to play some games. I may show you that collection as it started. So, without further ado, from me to you, see you later.